fabric, a t-shirt, a measuring tape to measure your length, a pair of good scissors, some pins, and a marking tool. Now go ahead and start at the top of the fabric and measure your length. So you want to use your shoulder point and to how long you want it. That's the length. And all you're going to do is just grab your t-shirt, lay it, mark out the back neckline, and you're going to just cut that out. And now you're going to cut your shoulder. Now what I did was I ended up making the shoulder a little bit smaller. I didn't show this part, but it was a little too wide, so I made it a little bit smaller. And then I flared out a little teeny bit because I didn't want it to be straight. I flared out a little bit, and then I'm just going to cut it down all the way to the bottom. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you're done the back piece. And we're going to use that same piece to cut the front two pieces. So you just want to do the same thing, cut out that same shape. Again, I made this piece a little bit wider because I wanted it to have like a maxi effect. You wanted to extend the lines out, and you're just going to cut it all the way down to the bottom. And then you'll have one piece. Now my camera wasn't angled right, and I wasn't going to re-record this, but you want to start at the top of the shoulder and make a V-neck, like a V, cut out a V. And then you want to cut all the way down to the bottom of the fabric, and it'll give you two pieces. Okay, so this is what it looks like. To make the sleeve, I'm using a shirt that I already own. And I just pinned the top and the bottom of the sleeve. Now when you use your shirt, make sure that the arm opening is the same measurement as your arm opening for the cardigan that you cut out. And just cut around the sleeve. Cut around the sleeve and cut to the bottom. Now when I get to the bottom of the sleeve, I'm going to cut it about a little bit longer than the actual sleeve because I'm going to make a cuff, and I'll show you how to do that. I didn't go into detail, but I'll show you how to do that later. Now you're going to take your sleeve pattern and you want to cut another one out. And just do the same thing, cut all the way to the bottom of the sleeve. And cut the other side. And then you're ready to assemble the cardigan. So now lay your pattern right sides facing right sides at the shoulder seams. And you want to pin your shoulder seams down so you can sew it. You don't really have to pin it, but it's just easier to line everything up so it can come out really neat. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And once you do that, pin that down as well. Okay, now you're going to sew the shoulder seams together. I've already did that. And I'm actually now putting the sleeve. Now this is the flat sleeve method, but I'll show you that in another video. If you would like to see that, leave a comment below on this method. It's easier than doing it the other way. Well, it's easier for me, but I can do a video on it if you guys would like. So now I'm just sewing the sleeve on, and then after you do that, you want to match the two seams on the side of the sleeve, so you make sure they line up, and then you're going to sew from the bottom of the sleeve all the way to the bottom of the cardigan. And that's what I'm doing now. So I started at the bottom, and you can start either way, but I like doing it this way. It's easier for me to start at the sleeve and then work my way over down to the bottom. Now once you do that, you're going to want to measure from the bottom of your cardigan all the way to the center, the middle point of the back of the cardigan. And you want to take that measurement and you want to divide that, you want to times that by 2. And that's how long you need your band to be, because we're going to put a band on the cardigan. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm cutting out that. You want to cut 2 pieces. And then you're going to stitch it in the middle to make one long piece. Like so. And it's, when you open it up, it's going to look like that. And then you're going to fold it over, and you're going to attach the seam line to the center back point of the cardigan. I've already pinned it, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. Now, wait, I did forgot to say, when you get to the bottom of the cardigan, you're going to have to cut the band 1 inch shorter. That's what I'm doing now. And then you want to sew it. And then you're going to flip it out, and then it's going to look like that. And then you're going to flip up the bottom of the cardigan. So you're going to have right sides facing right sides. Like so. And then you're going to sew on the band. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. Sewing the band all the way around to the other end, and you're going to do the same thing to the other end. So now you're going to flip it back out, and it's going to look like this. And you're just going to iron down the bottom of the hem for the bottom of the cardigan, and then pin it in place, and then take it to your sewing machine and stitch it down. So take it to your machine, and then you just want to stitch down that hemline, starting at the beginning of the band, not the beginning, but the edge of the band, and you're just going to sew straight down until you reach the other end. And once you're done, it's going to look just like this. And then we're going to work on the sleeve. So you're going to fold the cuff inward, and then you're going to flip it back out, and it's going to look like that. You're going to sew all the way around it. Like I said, I'll show you a video if you guys would like to see one on how to do the cuff method without actually attaching an extra piece of fabric to make a cuff. This is actually the easy way to do it, and it comes out neater. So now I'm just sewing the cuff down. And if you're using a serger, make sure your knife is not active, because you don't want to cut the actual fabric. Just in case you make a mistake on your cuff and need to take it back out, you don't want to cut it. So once you're done the cuff, you can cut the threads off, and then your cuff will look like this. I have to back the camera up a little bit so you can see the cuff, and that's what it'll look like. And I'll flip it on the outside and let you see what it looks like on the inside. So this is your finished cardigan. Hope you guys like this video. Give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe.